Welcome to Episode 2, Part 1 of the Birds Words podcast with our guest, Jerry Crawford. Jerry is a Christian, longtime married man, father, Vietnam veteran, 11 Delta 40, Blackhorse Regiment, Purple Heart recipient, bird dog trainer, and friend. I'm John Birdwell, your host. I believe you got a lot of good things to say. We're going to dive into your life and hopefully learn something from all the years of experience you've got.
Well, I was born in 1945 to a Christian family. Ended up 6 of us before 55. My dad was an elder at Baxter Church of Christ. My first experience was riding in a 1948 truck on the back stake truck on the backside of me and my oldest sister. We'd ride to church every morning or every Sunday. The family, Dad pushed it because he was an elder. He was an elder from 1957 till the day he died in 1999. So I was raised in the church and went to the 3 schools, or the 2 schools that was in Baxter at that time, grammar school and high school. I graduated, married my high school sweetheart in December 1964. We'll be soon married 60 years.
That's incredible. That's quite the mark today.
Yeah. And I've piddled in a little bit of everything. I farmed. I was raised on a farm. My dad was a craftsman, he wanted to be called. He built houses. So when I out of high school, I started working with him.
Helping to build houses?
Build houses. He built about 175 in his lifetime. They were not these spec houses you see. They were custom built for the people that would hire him to build one for.
Probably with all the fancy tools and all these fancy battery packs too, I imagine.
No.
Hammer and nails, right?
No, that was with the old handsaw and the old hammer and nails.
Yeah. Did you get to do a lot of the cutting for him?
Yes.
And the gopher?
I was the gopher, the cutter. I was what really you would call a groundhog. I was the ground man, whatever it took to do the job.
Yeah.
I learned, we built them I've dug foundations with pick and shovel.
Man. Till
about 70 or 62 or 3 when we found a guy that had a backhoe that would dig them. I poured footers. I've laid blocks. I've done the woodwork on them. I've done plumbing. I've done electric.
It's rewarding doing all that.
Back then, we done everything but the heating. Till heating and air came in, we done everything but the heating and air. But nowadays, it's spec'd out to this one and that one, and I'd rather see a custom-built house any day.
I agree. I enjoy woodworking. I wasn't, I'm not out hand sawing all the time, but I really do enjoy, there's something about making something with your hands that's special.
It is. It's a special gift. And the pride you take in your work, and really it's an example to your life. People see what you're doing and see the work you're doing. Mm-hmm. Then they see what kind of person you are. If you walk in that light, as I call it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a good life. But out of high school, about 2 years out of high school, I got drafted.
So how old were you there?
I was about 24.
Okay. Yeah.
When I got drafted. I went through basic Fort Campbell, then AIT, which is on the job training at Fort Knox.
Yeah. What was your job?
My MOS is 11 Delta 40, reconnaissance expert. and we would go out recon an area. It was just like scouting for deer.
Mm-hmm.
We go out, we scout, we find a sign, we set up on it. And after the AIT, I went to NCOS school, which is non-commissioned officers. Came out of there as a sergeant. Then I went to 6 weeks of training. I was over a squad of people for 6 weeks at Fort Knox.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, my wife had came up, and we was living just off post.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a little old trailer that was not big enough to cuss a cat in. But we enjoyed it. And after we left from up there, I was about a 30-day leave. Went to Newark, New Jersey. Stayed there 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then on from there to Anchorage, Alaska, then to Vietnam. Stayed there for 9 months. During that time, I'd run over, or my driver had run over a 100-pound bomb and blown me off of it.
Mm.
So they sent me back to Cameron Bay to the 7th Field Hospital. Operated on my back. During recovery,
What were you on? What were you on when that bomb went off?
I was on a armored personnel carrier.
What's that like?
That's a mobile home.
Yeah.
If you can see the picture over there on the wall, you'll see what one of them looks like. It was about a 5-man crew.
So you go through basic, and you go through your training. You're focusing on recon. You stop at a few more places. You're headed to Vietnam, and you find yourself on an armored unit. Is that what you call it?
I was an 11th Armored Cav.
Okay, and so what? I mean, what are your orders? What are you doing at the time?
We're doing what they call road drills. We'd run a road out to a certain spot. We'd set up like an ambush.
Mm-hmm.
And of a night, of a day, we'd be guarding so many miles of that road so that they could, the transports could bring food, ammunition, whatever they needed to the next base.
Yeah, we were just going to skip over all that. So what was basic like? So you roll in and you're drafted. I mean, and were you a Christian at the time?
Yes.
All right, so you're a Christian.
I was baptized in 1955.
And you attribute a lot of that to your family and Christian upbringing.
My Christian upbringing was, I guess, the biggest highlight of my life. When you go every day, except for being seriously sick,
mm-hmm.
every time a door is open and your dad's an elder, you don't try to disgrace your family by any means.
Mm-hmm.
You want to live up to what the values of your family that you've been taught since you was a kid.
And which one of the kids were you? Like you had 6 siblings. Which one were you?
I was the second. I was the firstborn son. I had a sister older than me.
Okay. What was the family like when the letters came, when the draft came? Because that a lot of people, as time goes on, don't remember, don't know what it feels like. It's been a long time. What was it like when it came in?
It was shocking to an extent. Here I was married, had a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is she going to live while I'm out there?
Yeah.
You've got a family that's shook up because the first eldest son is gone.
Yeah.
So it was really a backset. And you learn, like, Mama took orange your shirts, washed your shirts,
mm-hmm.
darn the clothes. Well, that's something that you've got to do now.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure all buttons is right buttoned up, all buttons is sewed on, everything is darned, and that's that takes away from what you usually do. When you walk out the door, Mama's got everything ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got to do it yourself. It puts a lot of self-responsibility on a person.
Did you, I imagine, well, you especially, it seemed like you were probably pretty mature compared to the way sometimes comfortable times force people to grow up. Well, it seems like you were learning, building houses, had some family responsibility, and even that, the draft made you even more responsible.
It made a man out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It put you where you stand on your feet. And I know you have to take orders from the chain of command down,
mm-hmm.
but still, it makes you think, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
That's just in Christian life. Are we doing the right thing?
Yeah, that's right. So the papers come in. What about your faith? Are you thinking, why is this happening? You're ready for the challenge? Were you just going to...
I wasn't really ready for the challenge, but my faith in the good Lord that He would give me the ability to do what and everything that I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing they give you when you go in, the Gideons always gave you a little Bible.
One of the little green ones?
It's
It was little New Testament.
I don't remember the cover because I carried mine over my heart in my shirt till I wore the cover off of it.
Mm.
And and just look down your pocket and grab it. The Lord's with me. I can make it through.
So you took some comfort in that?
I took comfort in that.
So I imagine when you're out there, what you carry, everything that you carry has a purpose, and you don't want a lot of stuff that bags you down, but you weren't worried about carrying that extra weight, were you?
No, that wasn't what's 2 or 3 ounces.
Yeah.
Little handheld Bible.
Compared to what you're up against.
Yeah. And it's maybe 2 ounces of weight, but it's a whole armor shield of the Lord.
Mm.
That you know that you're doing what you did. I didn't want to go, but you're doing what you have to do.
Oh yeah. It's not pretty. It wasn't pretty.
That's back in Samuel, where they're looking for a king,
mm-hmm.
and the Lord told them, said, if you get a king, your men will be warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Your women will break bread for the warriors. And a lot of times you have to give up something for a greater deal.
Yeah, sacrifice. That's
sacrifice.
That word's heavy, isn't it? It's easy to say. It's heavy to do.
Sacrifice is a word that it's got a lot of meaning. What can you? And then you have to go back to the Lord, and He sacrificed His Son for us.
That's
and
right.
His Son
sacrifice.
sacrificed Him. He sacrificed Himself for all of mankind for the sins. So
that's the gospel right there. That's the gospel.
And I always tell somebody, God gave us 10 commandments. Jesus only gave us 1. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And if the world to look around at it today, we wouldn't be in all these conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be in this twisted state of mind that a lot of people are.
Yeah, that's rough. So you've got your pocket New Testament, you got the armor of God, and so you're setting up ambushes at night.
Yes.
And so how does that work? Are you riding all the time, on foot part of the time?
We'll ride till just after dark.
Mm-hmm.
Just where you can see the distance. We'll circle our ACAVs, as we call them, and we'll back them back to back.
And how many were there at the time?
There's usually 10.
Whew. Yeah.
And you back them back to back like a covey of quail. Or back when they sit up at night, they back ends to each other, so they've got eyes all the way around. We'll set out what we call trip flyers and claymore mines for protection. And if a claymore mine, trip flyer goes off, whoever's got the control of the claymore mine, he's going to set it off in that direction.
Right away?
Right away.
All right.
So you never know what tripped it off.
Yeah.
One night we had
just anything. I mean, just anything could come through the jungle and just
come through the jungle, or we called it elephant grass, big tall grass to be over your head. But whatever comes through it, that makes me remind. One night when I set up and done that, it went off, and when we got through firing, the next morning we did have 3 elephants.
You're kidding?
That it tripped it off.
Man, well, I mean, I don't even know. What do you do with an elephant? Do you think about eating it?
No, that was left up to the rear echelon to come out and.
Okay.
Because a lot of those elephants and water buffalo belonged to the people. They were work animals.
Okay, yeah.
Animals.
So then you've got this relationship with the people you kind of got to worry about.
So our government had to settle for these animals that we would call them domesticated animals here, like cows and horses.
Yeah.
But then
you don't know what's coming through. I mean, it could be anything.
It's so dark some nights over there you couldn't see your hand and 10 inches your nose.
I mean, I bet your senses are alert all the time.
Well, it was like this. We would pull 4 hours every night, the 4 of us would. Mm-hmm. I would pull the first 4, then the other guys would pull. The last guy would wake me up about 2 hours before daylight. Every night's business. It wasn't no, I'm not getting up and doing it.
You pulled your weight, huh?
You protected each other like brothers.
Yeah.
I've got your back. You've got my back. That's the way we were. They wouldn't know fussing about doing anything. Each one of the guys on the back had 60 calibers. The driver had to control the engine. He checked his oil. He'd make sure all the fuel and everything was right on it. 60s kept their 2 on the back would keep the 60s clean. Mine was the Cupolo, which was a 50 caliber machine gun. My job was making sure that 50 caliber worked.
So you kept that thing maintenance and ready to go.
It was greased. It was cocked and loaded, and there's a little butterfly on the handle that you push forward on that butterfly and it'll automatically go on. I kept an empty shell behind that butterfly as a safety. That was the only safety I had after I loaded it.
No kidding.
Because you don't want to go down the road and hit a bump and automatically hit one of them.
Be like a friendly fire.
You're going to shoot the track in front of you then.
Yeah, so y'all were rolling with 10, and you just kind of went in a line, because if one went, then you might bypass something if you stay in a straight line.
It was my driver's responsibility was to drive in the same tracks the guy in front of him had drove. And that's why I had a new driver. That's why he kept sightseeing, rubbernecking, I call him, and zigzagging. And I said, keeping the tracks in front of you. Well, about the 3rd time I told him, he pulled out, and that's when we hit that 100-pound bomb that blew the tracks off.
That's a costly mistake, isn't it?
It is. Cost him his life and maybe the bottom part of my spine.
How long? So you were there for 9 months?
About 7.5, 8 months.
So when did that happen in that 7 to 8 month range?
That happened about 2 weeks before I left Mobile. Then after they done a little surgery, they sent me to Camp Zama, Japan, 7th Field Hospital. I stayed there from August to the 20th of December is when I got back here. But in rehab and all that, I had less than 90 days left in service. And I got an early out of 90 days, but I flew from Japan to San Diego. I mustered out in San Diego. That's where we discharged all of our equipment.
Weather's nice out there, isn't it? It's probably better.
Well, most of it was dark when I was out there. Come in before daylight. Time we stayed in this big barracks and done our signing out of everything that we owned, or that they'd issued us. Then I caught a plane, 747 to Dallas Fort Worth, a layover 2 hours, and from there I called home and I told them, if you'll be in Nashville at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll be getting off the plane. So Dad, Mama, my sister younger than me, and my wife and baby, but during that time she had produced me a child.
Oh, wow.
Which was a young girl. We had those. We came home, and then I started my civilian life and trusted in the Lord to guide my ways.
How was that transition back into civilian life?
Well, you're home after being over there. You didn't want nobody to throw a pack of firecrackers.
Yeah,
because you would bite the dirt.
Yeah.
I
imagine that it's hard to untrain that.
You had a responsibility there to do what you're supposed to do to get back. When you get home, it's another responsibility to your family to start back to work, making a living for them, and then getting used to civilian life again, the life you had before.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a change and all of that.
Yeah.
And as you look out my front door now, you see a ridge. You see all the animals coming up. You can see the deer. It's back to what God gave us.
Yeah, and you love nature. I know that about you. You mentioned quail earlier. Let's get into some of your hobbies that you enjoy. I know you because, well, from church, but also because I've got a bird dog that belonged to one of
the females. It come out of a gypsy dog I had.
Yeah, so you enjoy quail?
I enjoy, well, it's back in my youth in the 50s and 60s, we didn't have deer much around here, but we still had the squirrels, the rabbits, and the birds. And Dad was always a big bird hunter. We had bird dogs. And I enjoyed watching a good bird dog in a field.
Now there's a few debates going around. So there's labs and setters and pointers and Brittany's. What do you like working with most?
Well, I like working with the labs because I did duck hunt for several years. Training a lab takes about an hour a day.
For how long? So if you had an hour a day and you had somebody that was going to say, Jerry, bring me a dog that I can take out into the field. And so they're pups. You start working with them, at 6 weeks?
6 weeks old. And if you want a trained dog, at 6 months old, it's not a trained dog, but it knows the responsibility. It takes a year to get a lab disciplined enough that you can work with it.
Yeah, so, and I remember you hold them a lot, right? When they're pups, you hold them all the time and build that bond with them, and then
you've got to build a bond with them. And the better you treat them. That's just like a lab pup. We put the 6 weeks old lab pup here in this room. He runs over and grabs your best shoe and brings it back to you. You're not going to spank him because you do, you ruin him.
Yeah.
He won't want to pick up nothing that you put out there.
You do the opposite. You encourage him.
You encourage him. And that's just like a young child playing baseball, football, or a game. I've seen parents just yell and squall and run a kid down.
Mm-hmm.
When the kid's out there having fun, doing his best, he's going to make a mistake. And that's the same way with dogs. They're going to make a mistake. You don't want to beat one, because when you do, that dog associates a whipping with something that he should be doing on his own. And a lot of times you can be working any kind of dog, and up till about 6 months, he may be making mistakes, doing things you don't want him to do. But once he learns, it's just like flipping a light bulb on in his head. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what makes my master proud of me.
Yeah, and as long as you keep the rust off, they pretty much work for life. I mean, they know what they're supposed to do, and
I can go out. I've got a 6-year-old German short hair out there now that was pointing birds at 6 weeks old, retrieving birds at 12 weeks old. She's not had a bird in front of her for a year and a half now. Mm-hmm. I can go put some birds out in the field. And when I pick that shotgun up and start out in that field, she knows.
Yeah.
She knows what we're going to do.
Yeah. So, and you've raised quail too, and so some of them are wild, but some of them you take out there and spin them around a few times and get them dizzy and throw them out there, and they find some holes, and you take them out there and work the dogs.
Yeah, they come and work the dogs. You can turn a quail upside down and twist him about 3 or 4 times and throw him down, and he'll lay right there. Mm-hmm. It's just like me spinning you around and getting you dizzy and sitting in that chair. It takes you a while to get up out of that chair.
For a while, yeah. Yeah. So, and you got into a lot of. Did you do some wildlife hunts? You put some of them on, and
I did. I run a little reserve. I'd furnish the dogs if they didn't have dogs, but I would take out of a morning about 4 or 5, just for daylight. I'd plant those birds in different spots. Then the guys could come in. They could turn their dogs loose and run them. If they didn't have dogs, I could furnish them a dog and guide for them. Mm-hmm. So they could shoot quail. I had chokers and I had pheasants at one time that I would put out for them. You could have a mixed bag, and I'd charge them a fee for that mixed bag.
Well, I think it's incredible watching these dogs work. I don't even have to take a gun with me, and I mean, watching them, because, I think we've talked about this a long time ago about how God put the instincts of a quail and the instincts of a bird dog, and they both lock up, right? Yeah. Because they fix on there. It's a beautiful sight. I love the paintings. I've got some where they're locked on, and the quail don't move, and the dog doesn't move. And I think I've watched you walk out there, and you've got to kick them up out of the grass.
Yeah. You can take a whistle that sounds like a hawk. You can plant your birds and blow that hawk whistle, and he's not going to move because he knows that if there's something above going to get him. And that's, you take a wild covey of quail that you've hunted out here, and you find this covey of quail that wants to get up and go before your dog gets there. Just open the truck door and blow a hawk whistle. That covey of quail will sit. No. You'll let the dogs point him in.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps them from flying away.
Flying away. Because they know that there's an instinct, I don't know what it is, even in these birds that I raise and the birds that's out wild. These birds that I raise has never seen a hawk. But I can go down there next to where they can't see me and whistle like a hawk.
They don't know what it is.
They're all set. They're not ready to run all over the place. But God puts an instinct in everything. Now, a lot of the training, if a bird dog's not got much bird instinct where he don't want to fool with a bird, there's not much you can do except force him to do it. He don't make a good dog. But if you find a pup that's got the instinct, he likes to walk, he likes to run, he keeps his nose to the ground.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. So you're talking about picking one. So like if you're going to pick one out of a litter, and let's say you're going to you're going to train them, and you're not even going to have any other dogs except for that one, and you're trying to pick some features out. So you're looking for one that does what?
The best way, if you can find somebody that's got a litter of pups, and you're going to get one of the pups. I used to take 2 or 3 different kinds of colored string, sit down there, get to talking to the pups. First pup that come to me, I put one color on him, and I'd play with him. Then another come, and then you just walk away and let them stay away from them. Then when you come back to that litter and start talking, I'd always pick the first pup that
Came to you.
Come to me with that string that I'd picked out of the rest of them.
Huh.
Because they was wanting to bond with somebody.
So if that dog comes to you, if nothing else, you got a bond and a relationship, and then you try to work with that.
You've got the starting of a bond.
So in your opinion, is that almost more important than a dog that might have some skill but doesn't care a thing about you?
It is. It's more important if you bond. If you've got a dog that'll stay in close and listen to what you say, like come, right or left, or however you signal him, if he'll work out, he'll find birds.
Yeah.
But you get one that you took out there in the field, and you look around and he's half a mile one direction, he won't come back. Well, it's just
now some dogs naturally pointers run big circles, right?
Okay, you get the English pointer.
Yeah.
A lot of times you need a 50-acre field for that and turn them loose.
If you're a control person, you don't want a pointer, right? Because they'll just run off and leave you. And
they'll run and run. You just got to let them run till they run down.
Do you think that maybe people with horses that maybe hunt with horses are more inclined to hunt with the English pointer? Because I don't know about, you can't really keep up with them unless you have a four-wheeler.
I know, but unless you get them broke down, you get some that will stay in close.
Is that like is a Vizsla? Those dogs, don't they run tighter circles sometimes, or Weimaraners or something? I don't.
You get your Weimaraners, your Vizslas, and your Brittany's, and your English setters, and your German Shorthairs as a medium to close range dog. They'll stay in. So if they point a bird 50 yards, and they'll hold it till you get to them. But you don't want a dog that'll point 100 yards and you have to do a 100-yard dash to get to it.
What's the longest you've ever had a dog that would hold for you? They go out there and lock in on a bird, and
I had one dog that he'd be there. I believe he'd be there the next day. But he would. Most of them are hold. Like if you're running in field trials, you want one that will hold at least 10 minutes.
No kidding. I mean that. Well,
because you might lose him over the hill, and you and the judge looking around for him. But
I mean, to me, on one hand, 10 minutes seems pretty impressive if you're focused on what you're doing. But I guess on the other hand, if you did lose one and the countdown clock's on you,
the countdown when you're running a 20-minute course, which is about 5 acres. If you can get your dog, I've had one or two in 4 minutes. You get your 3 birds that they had planted. You don't want the clock to run out on you and you just got one bird up. Because you're the man on the lowest end of the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, those trials, they've got those specific rules, and they make it to where you got to pay attention to what you're doing. What's your favorite shotgun caliber?
I've got a 20 gauge.
Yeah, okay.
I've got a little 20 gauge, cheapest you can buy, a little Mossberg with screw-in chokes, double barrel.
Yeah, and over double, so side to side, not an over and under. Yeah,
side by side. It's light, it's easy to carry.
A lot of people swear by a 16, but I never I don't know. I never really got into it, but
Well, when I grew up, 16, you didn't want a big old heavy 12, as Daddy and your grandpa say. My first shotgun was a little Remington 20.
410.
No, 16.
Yeah, I had a little 410.
It was used, and Daddy had one just like it, and he bought this one for me. And I hunted with it for, well, it's still down my gun safe.
Yeah. I remember I had a 410. What did y'all? So when you got over to Vietnam, what did you carry? Did you have a sidearm, or was it a rifle? I mean, what?
Well, since I was a sergeant and commander of the tank, I was issued a M16 and a 45.
All right. And so did everyone riding have one, or?
Everyone riding on the APCs, they either had a 16 or M16.
And
the
45.
The driver and me had 45s.
Okay.
It was just hard to cram an M16 down the little hole.
I mean, it's a little bigger than shoulder width, probably, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
well, your shoulders in the driver's hatch will be, got about an inch on each side.
Yeah.
Of a heavy man like me, or a wide shoulder. But so he could get out quicker, he was issued a 45.
Yeah, because I imagine, well, when you're trying to get out and stop a threat, I mean, you don't want to waste any time trying to fit your weapon in between.
You don't want to stick your weapon out and lay it down, then crawl out.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, I mean, I've heard some theories, when we were clearing some rooms for police work, I mean, they used to say you first thing you want to see is the barrel, and that's all you want to see is the barrel cover out of the car. So,
well, you take in close quarters, it's hard to maneuver a long rifle.
Right, yeah. Shorter has some advantages, yeah.
You don't want to stick your head around before you stick your rifle around, but you don't want to stick your rifle and
all
your
the way. Yeah.
All the way. You want to be able enough to see where you can see your target, and that's the same way with an M16. With me sitting in the cupola behind a 50 caliber, I had my M16 strapped on the outside in a rack. But I still have my 45. So it's just like when I got blew off of that APC, my 16 was over here on the tank. I was over here on the ground. But I still had my 45.
Yeah, did you come to immediately? So did you get ambushed after that happened?
It was just a blast. It didn't knock me out.
Yeah.
But it was just a concussion, and it pushed me out. But other guys was getting off their tank. Hey. I said, over here, because they blew me 10 or 15 feet in the jungle.
So did y'all get ambushed after that happened?
No, we didn't get ambushed then. The only ambush we ever had was we was coming from Loch Ninh province, and we come through An Loch.
Was it at night?
It was in daytime.
No kidding. So, well, how did that unfold?
Well, we was coming back to base camp, Blackhorse, when we was coming through a narrow strip near a river of the river grass or elephant grass. We got hit from one side.
With what? Small arms?
Small arms fire and RPGs.
Oh, well, an RPG, that's not a good sound.
But I was not dead last, but I was about the fourth or fifth from the last one, and they hit us in the middle. What we would do on an ambush would be like a wishbone. APC turned one direction, one the other. So on down through there, and you'd open fire. So you're just getting two directions of fire from each.
And what was mounted? I forget what you said was mounted on the side. Well, 50 caliber.
Okay, you had 50 caliber and 216s on the back corners of it.
And everybody just turned loose.
Everybody up. The driver
in that direction.
The driver would usually drop the hatch on him because he's down lower. And if they can take a driver out, they would. He'd drop the hatch and look through the telescoping lights.
Was anybody out on foot or pretty much everybody inside?
Everybody was riding.
Did anybody get out? Because I know some techniques, maybe, or strategies have people get out and make a...
Well, not during the firefight. You
stayed in.
You stayed in. But then after the situation is neutralized, then you'd have some that would get off and take a sort of a ground sweep.
Yeah. So, every enemy was taken out by the 50 and the 16s then from all 10 if they're not hit, if they're still functioning.
You take without it's hard to knock a 50 out. I've seen an RPG hit and it wouldn't let the turret move around. He just had a certain motion he could do.
It just limited the range, but it still fired.
Yeah, it knocked his full. See, a turret can swing 360, and you hit it to where it only got so far. That gives your enemy a chance to move around where it cannot. But during a firefight, you've got your 60s going off, and we always said, they say, get you. And the 50 go off, get down.
Yeah.
So,
and so did you keep the ammunition coming and linked up so that they could keep on firing?
Well, that's where your fifth man was. He was in that ammo hole. This one run out, he would grab a box of 16s, hook him up. The other one grab, not 16s, but 60s. Grab another for this one. I never did have to worry because I'd always have 2 boxes of 50s linked up.
Ready to go.
Have that linked up for me.
So you're the sergeant, and so what was your main role? Like what was your main job to do? Because everybody's functioning, he's keeping the machine gun running, someone's driving. I mean, what?
Mine was, with the headset we had, I had the command post. They was giving me orders, and this other one I could key it over and give the driver orders. The 2 on the back, the 2 gunners, they was on their own about orders. But my job was to make sure everybody was functioning, everybody was knowing where we were going by listening to command, because we didn't have these little GPSs.
You didn't have a big Tesla screen in there?
No.
Telling you which way to go and drones overhead?
We just had maps with coordinates on it, and then we had their compass that we'd set on that to the certain coordinates. And we'd know how many clicks out or how many miles out we was going to go. And the driver kept up with the miles. He could relay back to me, we got 2 miles yet to go, 3.
Yeah.
And then you had your orders from command coming down. Our radio that we had in there, so what we called them, was 18 inches by 32 inches, 12 inches deep.
That's a piece of equipment right there.
And that's something else that I was in charge of, making sure we were on the same frequency.
Making sure, yeah. Communication is so important. Especially in times like that, I imagine. We'd be changing frequency twice, maybe 3 times a day. For security?
For security. And a lot of times, I'll just give you an example. They'd call me and say, Colt 45. down 25. So you would go to 45, drop your frequency down 25, and you'd be on the same frequency as them.
So you threw in some coded language, and
It was coded language when it come to setting the radio. But then you might be sitting on ambush, and you get keyed in from CQ to change codes. So you change codes, or you might be on a road rift where it's guarding the road. You get to change codes. They might want you to change codes so that you could be on same frequency that the convoy that was coming up was on.
yeah,
So you could know if they got hit. You wasn't on. It wasn't a picnic. You wasn't sitting there on the side of the road drinking beer and smoking cigarettes all the time. You was sitting there, and everybody was in a position. I might have a 50 up cleaning it, but it was just more smack it down, and I was ready to go. But I remember once they hit a road convoy, and we had to run back down the road about 10 miles, and they were getting hit at the same time, but we run down it. But we had to run off the road. We wouldn't run on the road because we didn't know if they'd mined the road between us and them the time we got there. So you were going through about half breaking bamboo and stuff. It was a slow run. It wasn't a...
I bet that was a wild experience because, you're right. I mean, you don't know what you're about to hit, so you're trying to take a path that they wouldn't think you're going to go.
You're trying to take a path of least resistance, but you're going through that where the roan plows, they went through and cleared that jungle. It's just like a dozer going through and clearing woods. You've still got the stumps and the brush to run over.
What'd you call that? That's clearing?
Roan plows.
Roan plows?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
It was a big... Well, you've seen about what they've got on these big arms that reaches out and just eats a tree up now. Well, they had something like that would just clear out the jungle. But it'd get down to the stump would be about a foot off of it. You could run through a hit and no.
Yeah, it'd send you for a wild ride, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So they send that thing out there and clear the way. Then you follow through there, and hopefully hopes that nothing
what they do is clear a lot of that out. They come through ever so often, just like our power lines people do. Clean the that off, but over there that stuff would grow.
Fast. Just shoots up all the time. It's just
warm, hot,
yeah,
and damp, and it would shoot back up. So they'd send that off and try to clear at least 200 yards along the side of the road off on each side, so that you had a clearer fairway, and that would put the enemy 200 yards away from you having to shoot at you.
Well, did you ever have any times you thought, this is a rough way to go and a bad place to be?
There's been many a nights I prayed to the good Lord to send me back home.
No.
You just finished listening to Episode 2, Part 1 with Jerry Crawford on the Birds Words podcast. The next episode, Part 2, opens up with a display of faith and grit as he recounts laying down on uneven .50 caliber ammo cans, reading his Bible, spending time in prayer, and later working as a team to fight off an ambush by NVA regulars. If you enjoyed the lessons of grit and faith, give Birds Words a follow on Facebook and Instagram. If you'd like to donate so we can keep the content coming, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Birds Words podcast. My aim is to bring you solid content from people who offer real experience where grit and faith meet and provide insightful discussion that equips you with wisdom, spiritual encouragement, and truth to help you conquer the day. See you next time.